Hi everyone, it's Michelle. Welcome back. So today I thought I would do a little bit of an update on my health journey. A lot of people have asked for me to continue with these videos, so I thought I would come on today and do that. It's been a long time since I made a video talking about this, but I thought it would be good timing because we're a few weeks into the new year and everybody starts this, ramps up this new journey to weight loss or health at the beginning of the new year, and so many people fall off very, very quickly. I thought this might be a good time to come on and talk about how I'm doing and to try and motivate some of you who may have already quit or, may be stumbling along the way. So yeah, I thought I would start by, a lot of people have asked, like, how is it going with my maintenance and that kind of thing. And I will say that, I am at the same weight I was when I hit my goal. And that has been hard for me. It hasn't been easy to maintain. Yes and no. So I'll say that. I have had challenges throughout the year. I think it's important to remember that this is an ongoing journey, and I talked a little bit about that in my last video, that, once you get to your goal weight or whatever or your fitness goal or whatever it is you're doing, your journey doesn't stop. Now it's about staying there and, continuing to be healthy and fit and that kind of thing. And that can be a challenge. And it was a little bit for me in that, I still have the same tendencies I had back when I was overweight. When I get stressed, when I get sad, when I get happy, regardless of, I turn to food for comfort and for celebration. And when you do that too much, you can't stay at a healthy weight. And so, there were times throughout the year when I let myself slide a little bit, never more than 5 pounds, but it's something that, had I not kept it in check, I could have found myself, not in a happy, healthy place. So, I recognize those things throughout the year. When do I turn to food? Why do I turn to food? And I try to be much more conscious of it. So I don't want to, I didn't want to come on here and say, yes, I'm still at my weight and everything's been great, because it's been a challenge. And I also know, this is something else I learned. I also learned that when I stop weighing, this is something that I talked about, when I stop weighing myself every day, I slip very quickly. And sometimes, I'll have a couple of days where I've eaten bad because we've been out or maybe we've been celebrating something or whatever, and I don't want to see the number on the scale, so I don't get on it. And for me, that is a bad thing, because when I don't see it, I don't believe that it's happening. So for me, it is very important for me to really understand what's happening with my body, and weighing myself every day is my means of doing that. And I find when I go a few days without weighing, that's when I tend to start slipping. So I don't do that. I am pretty religious about getting on that scale every day. Now, that is not something that is for everyone, but that definitely helps me keep my weight in check. So, so what's changed? Not a whole lot has changed from an eating perspective. I am still, eating clean, healthy foods. And then I occasionally, indulge in a meal that is, not on my healthy eating plan, because everybody has to have indulgences. And, holidays happen, birthdays happen, celebrations happen, and we all need to, understand that we haven't given up all of that. It's just something we only indulge in once in a while. And you will hear me call it an indulgence and not a cheat, because I think when we call something a cheat, we feel bad about it. And when you indulge yourself, you shouldn't feel bad about it. It's everybody, like, we are all still living, and we need to have, these things in our life. And for me, I don't want to give up all of that. I like food. I really enjoy food. And so I make sure that, but I don't think about it as a cheat. I think about it as an indulgence. And here's the other reason why I think about it that way. First of all, I don't want a negative term associated with it. And the other thing is, if you think about it as an indulgence, when you are having your indulgence, you need to think about whether that food truly, food or drink, whatever you choose to make it, truly feels like an indulgence to you, or is it really not that good? So if I'm going to indulge in something, I want it to be absolutely delicious. And a lot of times you think it's going to be, and then it isn't. And for me, when it isn't, I stop and I just don't eat it. Because you will go, like I will go to a restaurant and be so, I'm going to have a big juicy cheeseburger, or I'm going to have, some really great ribs, and I'll order it and I'll be so excited about it. And then there'll be a bit of a letdown. Like maybe they're not prepared how I preferred them. And so when I consider it an indulgence, I have to ask myself, is this really does this really taste that good, or is it just, it's not really that good? And if it's not really that good, I stop, because it's a wasted indulgence. Like, why have all those bad calories and have all that fat and sugar and things that we shouldn't be consuming if it doesn't even taste that good? So I try to stop, and then I'll just get something else, which I know can be hard when you're in a restaurant. But if it isn't truly that delicious, ask yourself why you're eating it. Really, you have to ask yourself why you're eating it. So I do still have those indulgences, but I try to keep those in check. Like once or twice a week is okay. If you think about it, I try to be good 90 to 95% of the time. So if you are being good 90% of the time, if you eat 3 meals a day, you eat 21 meals a week. So 2 meals out of the week, you could have an indulgence and still be eating healthy 90% of the time. And that's really, in my opinion, all you need to do. Some people will say 80%. I try to keep it more at 90%, but that's me. And I think as we get older and our bodies start slowing down, you have to be a little tighter with things. But, I try to give myself a couple meals a week where I indulge myself. But when I do, I make sure it's really good. So that's another key. Like if it's not, stop. Like ask yourself why you're eating it, So yeah, my year, this is why I don't make these videos, because I could talk forever about this subject. So, I have maintained my weight. It's been I hit my goal weight in like April. So, it's been 9 months-ish. I have a long way to go to maintain this weight, but I've been able to maintain it, and I feel really good about that. But I have not had, like I said, I have not had stumbles along the way. So I'm still eating just kind of how I did before, with a couple of indulgences a week. And that seems to work really well for me. And as long as I stay on that path, my weight stays in check. I am still working out. A lot of people have asked, kind of what's going on with that. I am still working out 5 or 6 days a week. I work out depending on my schedule and how hard my workouts are. So I talked a little bit about it last year about, starting CrossFit and really having some goals around CrossFit. And I had a 6-month membership to my CrossFit gym, and I went as often as I could, 5 or 6 days a week for that 6 months, and I really enjoyed it. And I really do feel that I made progress in my fitness that I wouldn't have had I not challenged myself with that type of workout. The CrossFit gyms in my area are very, very expensive, and so I opted not to renew my membership because it's very expensive. But I still incorporate a lot of what I learned and a lot of the exercises we did in that class in my workouts at home. So I am back to working out at home. I will say it's harder when you work out at home. It is harder you definitely have to push yourself, because when you work out with a bunch of other people who are super fit or trying to get fit, you will work out harder because everyone else is working out really hard. And when you're at home, if you're having an off day, it's easy to half-ass it, for lack of a better term, So you have to be careful about that kind of thing when you're working out at home, and I have to watch myself with that kind of thing. So that's why I have sort of calorie burn goals and that kind of thing set for when I'm training at home to make sure I'm pushing myself hard enough. So I have gone back to lifting at home and doing Tabata workouts at home, and I've got some, fitness videos that I'm loving. And I talked about some of my favorite fitness videos last year, so if you guys want kind of an update on that, let me know. That could be a video that I do in terms of, sort of my health journey, because you guys have continued to ask me to do these videos. So that's kind of an update on me. What I wanted to say was we are 4 weeks or so into the new year, and some of you have already given up your journey, and some of you are really having a hard time staying on it. And I just wanted to say it's really important to not give up. First of all, if you started your journey and you've given up already because you pushed too hard in the beginning, don't beat yourself up, but don't give up. I think it's really like we all kind of get to that January 1st and, you take away all the bad food and you start working out really hard. And I personally think that's too much. I did not do that. I started with, trying to clean up the food first. And I did that slowly. The first thing I did for a couple of weeks was I just got soda out of my life, which was hard. But I could have anything else I wanted, just no soda. And so sometimes taking steps like that and building up those habits along the way is a better way than just taking everything away all at once, because it's really hard. And you don't want this to seem hard. You don't want this to seem like you just don't want it to be that difficult. This is about your health. Your health is a long-term thing. This is not about, for me, it wasn't about being a smaller size. It was about my health. And I've said this before, I want to be a healthy old person. And the only way to do that is to fuel your body with good, healthy food, get rid of as much of the bad food as you can, and to, keep your body moving. And so that's why I did it. And I actually, a side effect of that is you'll get to be a smaller size. You'll get to look better in clothes, and you'll get to feel amazing. So that's just a side effect of putting healthy food in your body and moving a little bit more. But you don't have to just take all of the bad food away permanently, and you don't have to do it all at once. So if you started out that way and it was too much for you to handle, start slowly. Like I said, that's how I did it. I started very slowly. I got rid of the pop first, and then I got rid of processed foods next, and then I started trying to make the meat I was eating leaner, and it's been an evolving process for me, and it continues to be. But what I've learned along the way is how I feel when I eat a certain way versus, a different way. And it continues to evolve. I'm now to the point where I know I feel the best when I eat a plant-based diet. I know that. Does that mean I'm ready to become a vegetarian? No, it doesn't. I love meat. But more often I eat mostly a plant-based diet. I try to only eat meat a couple days a week. I don't force it. I just, I know how I feel. I know how light I feel. I know how healthy I feel when I eat plant-based. And, that really is the answer, plant-based diet. Getting as close to that as you can is the answer. And it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Get the processed junk out and eat more fruits and vegetables and less heavy meats and grains. That truly is it. You can eat grains. They're very plant-based. And I eat, I do eat a lot of grains, but I don't eat all grains. I only eat low glycemic grains that tend to be high in fiber and that can provide me with protein as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I think a plant-based diet is the answer. It makes me feel really good. My body's working really well. And that's kind of how I've done it. But it was an evolving process. And don't try to force it too quickly. I think that's the reason, like, people try to work out 7 days a week and they take all the bad food out and only, eat, or they, cut their calories back way too far. In the beginning, and I would say for 6 or 8 months, I didn't even count calories at all. I just got the garbage out of my diet, and started, moving a little bit more. So take it slowly. Like, don't make this is a long-term thing. We're not, like, if you're trying to be like a certain size by a certain time, that's really hard, because then if you're not getting where you think you should be, you get very frustrated. For me, it was about changing, making me the healthiest person I could be. And I was very hopeful to get down to a certain weight, yes, and a certain size, yes. But I gave myself 3 years to do that. 3 years. It ended up taking me 16, 17 months, but I gave myself 3 years because I didn't want to feel bad about the fact that the scale wasn't moving. So, you know, give yourself that time. You know, don't think, you know, you're going to lose 60 pounds in the next 4 months. Those goals are crazy, and then they just end up frustrating you. So take it slow. Be in it for the long haul, because if you quit now, you're going to have to start again at the beginning of next year, or you're going to have to start again next month or in 3 months or whatever, and you'll have lost that amount of time. Where if you've just slowly implemented healthy habits, you would be much farther along than you would be if you did nothing. And the other thing I want to say is exercise is very important. Healthy foods are very important. However, you are not going to lose weight and get healthy in a gym. It's not going to happen. You have to get the food right. You just have to. 80% of your weight loss is going to come from what you put in your mouth. So it's very important to get that part under control and slowly introduce the exercise if you're not exercising. Because the food is so much more important than the exercise. And the exercise will come when you start feeling better, and you'll start feeling better when you start fueling your body with healthy foods. And then just try to start moving a little bit every day. That's what I did. I started walking because that's all I could do. And I didn't walk far and I didn't walk fast for a long time, but I moved every day. And that's really important. But start with the food and get the food right, and then slowly introduce things. Like I said, this is the long haul. Who cares if it takes you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Who cares? As long as you're progressing along the way. And a lot of times that's the best way to do it, because you're happier, you feel better, and you don't stumble as often because you're making changes slowly, and you'll get there. This isn't a race. And that's the other thing, is if you're doing this with a friend or with some friends, you have to remember it's not a competition, and that everybody is going to move at a different rate. Everybody's going to lose weight at a different rate. Everybody's body is going to change at a different rate. And the things that someone else can eat versus the things that you can eat could be very, very different. So the only person you should be competing with is yourself. You want to just be a little bit better you every single day. That's all it takes. And I know that sounds simple, but it really can be that simple. So don't give up. I mean, if you already have given up, start again, start slowly, make very small changes. And if you're about to give up because it's just too hard, go back. It's okay to go back a little bit and, you know, figure out like what's the hardest thing for you, and get rid of that first, and then what's sort of next on your list, and get rid of that next. It's okay to do it that way, and sometimes I think it's better. It doesn't shock your body as much. You don't crave things as much because it's only one little thing at a time. So that's my 2 cents on that. About what I eat. Can I talk about what I eat? The reason I don't really talk about what I eat is because it doesn't change very often. I'm one of those people who, what I eat is pretty boring. It doesn't change. And if you are someone who can function that way, I highly recommend it, especially when you're in weight loss mode. Because it's very easy. You know what you have to eat every day. You know what's coming every day. And so my food items don't change very often. I still, every day for lunch, almost every single day for lunch, I eat quinoa and vegetables. And I've shown that. But that works for me. It keeps me full throughout the day. I feel really good when I eat that way. So that's what I eat. And it does not bore me. For some people that would be boring. But that's really what I eat for lunch every single day. For breakfast, I eat Greek yogurt and berries typically. I did find something new, so I thought I would talk about it today. As it got into winter, I felt like I wanted to have a warm breakfast, and I could eat eggs and that kind of thing, but like oatmeal isn't my favorite thing. I will be perfectly honest with you, but I wanted like a hot cereal that I could eat that was healthy, and I found this, and it is by Ernest Eats, I believe, is the brand, and it's called Hot and Fit cereal. So here's what it looks like. I think this is the brand, Ernest Eats, Hot and Fit cereal. So this, it comes in a few different flavors, if you will. They call it a superfood hot cereal. It's vegan. I'm not vegan, but it is vegan. It's wheat-free. I do not avoid wheat. It has a lot of fiber. And I like the American blend. That's the one I tried first, and it seems to be the one I like the best, which has cranberries, almonds, and flax in it. So let me tell you what's in it. This is why this is a food that's in a bag that I will eat. Typically, I don't eat foods that come in a bag or a box. So here's what's in it. Whole rolled oats, quinoa, and amaranth. It has diced cranberries, raw almonds, raw sunflower seeds, raw flax seeds, raw pepitas, cinnamon, and sea salt. And that's it. There's no preservatives in here. There's no sugar in here. There's no brown sugar in here. There's no fructose in here. There is no sweetener in here at all. No artificial sweetener. So that's why I think this is okay to eat, because it really is just a combination of whole grains and nuts, and has some diced cranberries in it. So it is about 180 calories a serving, and I eat this for breakfast. It cooks very quickly. You take a half a cup of this and a cup of water, and you put it in the microwave for 90 seconds, and it's done. You stir it up, and then their directions say to sweeten it with whatever you want to sweeten it with. I try not to add sweeteners to anything. What I do is I chop up either an apple or I chop up a banana, and I mix it in with this one. After it's cooked, I put the apple or the banana in it, and it's just wonderful. So Ernest Eats is the company. It comes in, like I said, it comes in a couple of different combinations of things. There's like a blueberry one, and this is the only one I've tried. Oh, this is also non-GMO, which is really important to me. I do not like to, I try to avoid genetically modified foods. So yeah, I think this is really good. It has 5 grams of fiber in there and 6 grams of protein in every serving. So, and it's delicious. And I can find this at my local grocery store. So I shop at a Jewel, is the big chain here, and I can find this there. Sometimes, some stores, it's by where like the oatmeal and hot cereal is, and some stores this will be where the gluten-free stuff is. So you should ask at your store if they sell this brand if you're interested in it. I think it's really, really good, and there's no processed garbage in here. So for me, this is a great hot alternative to breakfast when I want something warm at breakfast time. And when I have this, it keeps me full for a very long time. So I don't typically need a morning snack when I eat that either. So, you know, that with the banana is still pretty low in calories. You're still at only like maybe 250, 260 in terms of calories. So, you know, if you wanted to have some extra protein, you know, you could eat a couple of egg whites with it if you wanted more calories, that kind of thing. I don't find I need it, so, you know, I save my calories for a little bit later in the day. But this is a great, fast breakfast alternative. So I thought I would share that with you today. So I do want to continue to make these videos. I need you guys to tell me what types of things you want me to talk about, because my journey hasn't changed very much, so I don't know what else I can say, I guess. But yeah, that is it for today. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you all again soon.